Let's see if he realizes no.
Nope, his
Bringing those
speedlings
back.
are going back to base, back to mama.
Now, again, keeping up with that spawning over here, keeping up with that spawning. However, we are not seeing a third queen yet.
There you go, Boonce downstage, establishing a second area.
Yep, bringing out his second expo. Now, Patrick does have that second queen coming out, so we should be seeing a lot of creep movement.
This is what I like, a Zerg power push from Patrick.
I would like to see that. It would be very good, but I'm unsure if that's going to happen. Now, again,
visibility, can he see? No, just beyond him. He doesn't even consider.
Out of it.
There's a pylon looking him right in the face.
Now, Patrick doing all the right things, getting out that third expo.
Yep. Sending a force of speedlings, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, back towards second point.
However, unaware of that pylon and this pylon.
Extremely smart placement there from Boonce.
Let's quickly come down and check. Wow, an Immortal coming out, a few Stalkers. Oh, and some Sentries, so that means we might see some blocking coming out.
Take a look at that. Short work of the Zerg scouts there.
Second Immortal, Forge down the front, blocking off that.
It's funny, it's almost like they've adopted each other's style of play. Boonce is really consolidating his efforts back in his home base. Of course, Patrick expanding and furiously creating resources.
Now, we did have some Spine Creepers there, but it seems like Patrick has cancelled them. However, not seeing any Spine Creeper down here.
Which is concerning. He might want to catch up on some defensive maneuvers.
Yeah, definitely no defense coming out there, but like I suggested, creeps starting to come out. We're starting to see some roaches. Roach Zergling, a very, very powerful combo. Lots of damage going to come out from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Patrick still unaware of that pylon. He needs to get that creep moving. There we go.
Well, hang on a sec.
Slowly coming into view.
Just a resource push there. Next thing you know, hang on a sec. What's that beyond the crystals?
Yeah, this is where, I mean, if Boonce was ready, he could quickly warp in some Stalkers and just destroy that.
Really could just utterly decimate it.
Now, I think Patrick, though, is unaware of it. He hasn't sent any of his units down to destroy that.
No, I would say he's still completely ignorant of that fact.
Yeah, still no idea. Let's just quickly check. I mean, it is in sight. It's not blaringly obvious.
Maybe he's thinking it's a lighting fixture or something like that.
Yeah, looking at it as if it's a lamp lighting up these beautiful crystals.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's got to take care of it. Otherwise, it's going to mean big business later on the round.
Now, ground weapons level 2 being upgraded. Sorry, a bit of a tongue twister there.
It's a Sunday morning, be kind.
Twilight Council coming out, so that means those Zealots are going to get their charge extra speed.
Yep.
We might even see him researching into Blink. Now, again, not too sure what his macro and micro is like, if he is capable of those very fine blinks, but we will find out. Stalkers, obviously, great units to use because we can just blink over these gaps like that and get into the back of the bases.
First round, an early victory to Boonce. This time, these guys are taking their time. They're really focusing in on gathering everything they can.
Boonce taking those overseas, Patrick taking those overseas, I don't know if that's going to be to counteract the observers. Observers, obviously, with their hallucination ability, can be quite troublesome on the battlefield.
You know, if I don't get enough sleep, I also have a hallucination ability.
There we go. He has finally noticed that pylon, Carl.
What pylon? I don't see any pylon there.
However, we still have this one up here. Now, fourth coming out.
Yep.
Patrick bringing out his fourth, which will illuminate that, and he will need to get rid of it. So, Boonce needs to start getting moving. What have we got? We have almost 6 Immortals, 5 Immortals, only 2 Stalkers, and a good amount of Zealots. Now, 2 Observers there. 2 Sentries, sorry. Coming in to an army of roaches.
It's a war right now. Look at that. The roaches are swarming over the Protoss.
There we go, that blocking coming in, but I think, unfortunately, a bit too late. Not able to block that off and keep them away from the Immortals. Unfortunately, Boonts just destroyed. Not a fair trade at all.
I haven't seen the decimation of an immortal since Evanescence. Goodness gracious.
Now, bit of a blow for Boonts. However, he does have his warp gates up. Can he get some units out quick enough to defend that? I mean, Patrick coming in with all of this
Bringing it to
still.
the fight. Take a look. The roaches, they swarm.
Now, not seeing any mutas or anything like that coming out. So it looks like this will be just a ground fight, but let's check in. Let's have a look. Of course, Roaches making quick work.
Doing everything
forge.
they can to get rid of some potential resource. A Patrick victory!
Win going to Patrick. So that is 1-1.
There you go. It's not going to be a short game.
No, not at all. Now it is best of 5, so it is match 2. We have 3 to go. 1 victory going to Patrick, 1 victory going to Boonts.
And I'm very glad to see that it's 1 versus 1, okay? It's not just a steamroll like some of the other tournaments have been.
No, definitely not. Now let's have a look at this. Now typically Zerg players, huge APMs.
Absolutely, and
Lots of flying
102
clickers.
to Boonts' 69.
So Boonts, I wasn't seeing any of those blinks happening with
No.
the Stalkers.
See, Boonts kind of set up for the long game, though. You know, setting up those pylons, potentially investing in Blink.
And I mean, if he had have had his head in the game, we could have seen him coming in when that third expo came out, destroying it with Stalkers, but just didn't seem like he was ready to do anything with that.
Where's the Boonts of the first round who did a lap around his own enemy's, base? I'm very, very curious to see.
Now, let's see what this next match brings, because I'm very interested in seeing some of these cheeses.
Oh, absolutely. I've heard so much. I'm keen for some Gouda, some Brie, some Blue Vein, possibly some Swedish goat's cheese.
Gosh. Now,
I'm lactose intolerant.
third match about to start.
Oh,
Ooh,
Patrick has
Patrick.
cancelled the ready process.
Let's check. I think that's because they may have forgotten to add us as spectators.
See, that's how welcome we are here at Zlan 2013.
Pardon?
Taking a look now.
Nah.
Boone's
Oh, yeah, that
back
is.
on the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
field. Taking a look now.
There we go, ready to start.
Back on the field.
There we go, ready to start. Nah, Levi not paying attention. Ready. All right, third match about to start. We are on JSL Star Station.
That's
Interesting map because either team's going to start either side, but we have 2 starting positions.
That's
now,
correct.
both players starting in the top corner.
right. Mirror images of each other.
Boonts again going for the Protoss play. Patrick going for random and landing on Terran.
Terran. Now, that's an interesting choice. I mean, obviously not his choice, but I'll be keen to see what he does with it, of course. In the right hands, Terran can be quite an effective team.
Now, we should see some early barracks and supply depots coming out. Now, obviously, Protoss not known for their rushes. Protoss known for the longer, more defensive plays. So we could see some interesting stuff happening from Patrick.
That's right.
Now, of course, supply depot coming out to block that early entrance. Definitely not going to be seeing any early rushes. So, I mean, it's not hugely strategic. It wouldn't be insane for Patrick to stay in the base and build up an army of Marines.
This will be a dig deep game. These guys are going to sit in, figure out what's best for them as far as defensive maneuvers go. Like you said, create that army. It's essentially Attack of the Clones. Ever remember that in 2003? Very disappointing.
Yeah, it was. Now, of course, Marines are going to have it over the Zealots with their long-ranged attacks, especially for those Terran players that are quite good at the macro, quite good at attacking, walking back, and not taking any damage.
That kind of antagonism there can really distract an opponent as well.
Now, Gateway coming out with Pylon, very normal.
Boon's keeping with the Protoss.
Yeah, Boone's also keeping with. Sorry about that. Boone's also keeping with that scouting, so he knows. He knows now that Patrick is up here.
I'm also wondering because if Boons is going to keep the Protoss, he might keep the same strategies, trying to keep pylons near his opponent's base.
Yeah.
Will Patrick keep that in mind after discovering a few pylons last round?
Don't know. Now, we'll have to keep that up. We'll have to keep a check on that because, of course, Patrick last round finding a pylon in his base but not doing anything about it for a few minutes.
Yeah, only dismissing it after a few moments of gameplay.
And, I mean, it was in plain sight for him, so not too sure if he noticed it, if he completely ignored it or not. But we'll find out. Now, single Marine coming out here, one more in production. No Reapers. Thought maybe we might see an early Reaper scout.
I fear the Reaper.
But no. Okay, Chrono Boost coming out there.
Okay,
What do
look
we
at that.
have? Gateway. We have the Cybernetics core.
Mhm.
So we're going to see very similar style as before.
There he is, Boons, keeping everything aground. Very interesting to see that both players are up top, you know? That means it's going to be a pretty top-heavy game if they don't start expanding down and trying to get those additional resources.
Definitely. Now, Boons does know that they're there. Boons does know that they're there. Didn't see any pylon drops, so like
Not
before.
yet.
So nothing being built down here.
Present
nothing
unknown.
built down here. Nothing up here. Nothing up here. So not really seeing that same strategy as before.
Just playing the home game right now. Like you said, it's going to be a bit of a dig in and wait kind of strategy.
Now that extra probe coming out as a scout. So we don't know, is that extra probe coming out as a build?
Very curious to
find
see
out.
the
Now,
motivation behind this.
He is ending up back here, so we might see that extra pylon coming out.
Yeah, I guarantee you're going to see a pylon sitting pretty just beyond the vision.
Now, definitely waypointing that so that Patrick has no idea where he is heading to. Let's see.
Give it a
Is
sec.
he going to drop it?
Come on,
I know.
dudes.
He definitely has. Oh, yeah, no, he definitely has some minerals to drop it.
Yeah, he's well, spending as quick as he can build.
We'll keep an eye on that. Okay, a few Marines coming out. As we can see, factory up already. Single tank for that defensiveness. Starport coming in and training up some Banshees.
Oh, that's surprising.
Completely going away from that Medivac. Now, we do have a tech lab there, so it looks like he might be researching that cloaking field very soon, which of course means that those Banshees can then just go into the back of his base, cloaked up, destroy all of these probes, wrecking his economy.
Now, that is not the Patrick I know.
Now,
That sounds like a
Mother
Boons.
Core. Mother Core coming out, a single immortal. That means that is going to turn into a mothership very soon. So, of course, we're going to have a fleet beacon before then. We're going to have a bit of gas and a bit of mineral.
That's right.
But that's all right. We have the second expansion coming out. Now, let's see what do we have here. Gateway, for gateway.
Gee
Definitely
whiz.
have that. What's that called again? Brain farting. We definitely have that.
Sunday morning.
Warp gate.
Rain is
Warp
falling.
gate coming in. More immortals being researched. I mean,
generated
brought
right
into the map.
now.
Here we go.
Finally, Boone steps
Observer
outside his
coming
first
in.
base.
Now, of course, that is an invisible unit. He's not going to be able to see that. So I think that observer is just going to sit there and keep a bit of vision for him.
A valuable asset, no doubt.
Very valuable. Now, single Banshee. Single Banshee coming in. Now, of course, this wouldn't really be a bit of a problem if they were versing anybody else.
Oh, take a look at the first action here. We've got a siege tank.
There we go. 3 siege tanks, a few Marines, and some SCVs.
Someone called Paul McCartney. It's a Banshee on the run.
Now, I was going to suggest that this wouldn't be a bit of a problem against a different race, but against
Protoss.
Protoss, we do have these stalkers which can attack air units.
I'm also hired on the side to be Eli's brain fart filler.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Running on minimal sleep, starting to forget names.
Sleep is for the weak. I am never tired.
Now, check this out. That Immortal, low health. That Stalker, extremely low health, not dealing